Okay, we get started. Salamat sore everyone. How are you guys doing? I mean, after this clap exercise? Okay, so I think like since we have a lot of responsibilities to keep them interesting because it is end of the day, end of our session. So I think we three have to make this boardroom conversation like a role play and interesting. So
Such a pressure, eh?
yeah, it is, it is. You see half the people are already gone. So I think thank you everybody for, again, like Dheeraj, I also mentioned to have survived Rohit's session and the next other session. So the topic, as you guys know, that marketing as a boardroom priority, how, and I have like very privileged to host the two marketeers from a very interesting industry. One from an entertainment industry, you know, yeah, and one from an automobile industry. Imagine the dimension, guys. You know, so both of their boardroom conversations, when we hear, it will be really interesting to unfold, like what goes around. And I'm coming from an agency. Within the agency, I know what are the tricky things happen within the boardroom, so that I also will get to uncover. So, okay, now let's get started, I guess. So I think the first question I would like, I think let's keep it as a conversation more than a Q&A, right? Like that way. So Opik, right? Yeah. So the nickname we'll call Opik and Astrid, and I'm Arindam. Yeah. So now, as you know, like there has been a lot of up and down, and I think three of our, like, I think before Dheeraj and prior to that, a panel, and even Rohit was telling, we are all talking about marketing evolution, the mindset, consumer, usual business as usual way things. From when today, when you sit in the boardroom and talk marketing, and with this this economic pressure the whole country is going through, and the other, what can you just highlight a bit of about what does it mean in the practice in your organization? So what right now, as you see, what is the leadership table conversation happens on the marketing in the Hyundai way? So if you can highlight a bit like where it starts, and yeah, a little bit like the non-business as usual talks.
Hyundai.
Yeah.
Hyundai.
Hyundai, right?
Hyundai.
Okay, that's a pronunciation. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to explain a little bit about the situations of marketing in automotive industry. I think the interesting part is the technology plays a very important role here. If you notice, if you look in back then, we only focus on the purchase, which when a customer buy a car and that's it. But it actually expands alongside with the data that we can gather. It becomes the ownership where there's so many growth and revenue opportunities there.
Yeah.
We have like example that Hyundai Blueling is where all of the data that you have connected, and you can, you know, there's an emergency button, and when you crash, there's a automatic dispatch an ambulance, those kind of things. It's actually a subscription. And also the EV charging, where instead of paying pay per charge, you can actually subscribe through our platforms. And all other things like, you know, extended warranty, of course, there's parts and services, those kind of things, which actually create more revenue streams.
Yeah.
So that can only be happen if the data is carefully managed. And that will be the responsibility of marketing to manage those data. And so that's why when we're talking about how marketing role in the current boardroom, so we're not talking about this is a cost or revenue center, but we are talking about growth. Because it's not only about the purchase, but how it can impact eventually during the ownership process. I think that's the
and these data visibility and these detailing things are actually discussed in your boardroom today.
Correct,
so it is not just a pure top line, you know, the top line decision making. It's not about that. So this kind of rigor is being taken. It's not only the working team, but in the boardroom members.
Definitely. Because
got
we all seeing the same data. As
Yeah.
Rohit mentioned that we need to have a single source of data.
Yes.
That is what we are looking at.
Yeah, and so okay, that leaves interesting, and I think as a sector also, in terms of when it comes to the measurement and data capture, not a sector is quite evolved in that way, right?
Yeah.
Also an interesting piece is to see when you see this ownership purchase, this discussion happening, which is I think a big green. I think it's a big improvement coming to. Now Astrid coming, like your sector is like a fun sector.
It's so different.
It's fun.
So
You're saying that
different.
my sector is quite boring?
No, your sector is a luxury.
sorry.
Yeah.
Can I move to my slide, please? Okay, so we're still talking about when he's talking about
What
marketing.
happens in your boardroom? You
My
own
boardroom.
cinema halls, and the viewers' watching room.
Well,
yeah.
The funny part,
Yeah.
actually, when I've gotten this pick, there's no such thing as one movie or one series that you've watched that is not marketing induced, because everything is always measured by the marketing. So in
Because
the
it's selling
boardroom,
stories
well,
again.
because we're selling emotions.
Yes, yeah.
We are selling stories. We
Yeah.
want you to cry. We want you to shout. We want you to be scared. We are trying our best to be able to create content as commerce. So it is not just cost, but marketing itself is the growth architecture of every content that we produced, and that is in your screen, albeit in your laptop, in your phone, in the cinemas. Everything is marketing, marketing, marketing. It is also data-driven. We are using your insights. We want to know what people like. Well, up until today, people still like horror in Indonesia. As you can see from the data, we have actually 150 million total viewers, theatrical viewers in Southeast Asia, which makes us the biggest content powerhouse in Southeast Asia for movies. So we are also #1 in Vietnam from our last movie, Pabrik Gula. And everything is based because we are creating something for the market. And that's why marketing starts in the boardroom. I'm just going to give you an example.
Yeah.
So one example, last year and this year, we created a movie that is filmed for IMAX, Badarauhi. And then also this year is Pabrik Gula, which you have
Yes.
not watched.
On my
Watch
next
list.
watch list.
Watch list.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you watched?
No.
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 Okay. You have to watch.
Other was-
All right.
Who has watched this?
Have anyone
Has anyone
seen
watched this?
KKN di Desa Penari? Anybody?
Put a hands up.
No. Yay. Woohoo. Okay.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Layangan Putus?
Yes.
Yes.
That I have.
Layangan
Yes,
Putus.
yes.
Yes.
I think
so,
many.
Everybody, okay. Ada yang nonton Ipar Adalah Maut? Yes. Okay, Mas Aris, sip. Okay. So, again, that's based on data. We talk in the boardroom about what kind of movie that will make people want to go to the cinema. It's either horror or infidelity. Perselingkuhan sih nomor 1. Semua pengen datang ke sinema untuk marah-marah sama orang yang selingkuh, untuk mengeluarkan isi hati. So basically, that's why it is a boardroom priority. Everything.
And has it changed? Like I do see. I mean, in so many years I have been living there, has been a resurgence of the audience going back to the Indonesian movie, and
Oh my
more and
God.
more other new genres and a new way of storytelling movies coming in. So, in the context of boardroom conversation, like I do understand when you say it is nothing you do without the marketing, has the conversation within the boardroom changed what you used to face like 4 years back when, like, okay, the Indonesian moviegoers are like a bit of, just versus now where the traction, so.
I mean, this year alone, we're very proud that Indonesia has the #1 animation with 10 million viewers with Jumbo this year. And that is a success because usually the genre is still horror, drama. And then now we have animation, comedy with Agak Lain last year, which is #1 as well. So it's very nice to see. And even Indonesia right now is the leading market share of theatrical movies.
Yeah.
So usually it's always Hollywood. But now Indonesia has 65% market share for Indonesian movies.
Yeah.
And MD alone we have 21. So
Right,
yeah.
Great. And can I ask, like, both of you, like, I mean, maybe just in a yes, no, your CEOs or your country directors, like, has the conversation proportion of the marketing as growth proportion has increased? Like, because there are studies shown, like, from the WARC and even the McKinsey, that 60% of the boardroom conversation earlier it used to be a performance, now it's starting with the marketing first. And the CEOs are personally investing on their knowledge and skills about learning more on the marketing than the P&L just purely. Do you see that reflecting in both of your organizations, that your country director or CEOs really,
Oh my God.
they are
Have you met
always-
my boss?
Yeah.
Have you met my boss?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I have, like once I have the
Yeah,
little
okay.
brief.
So my CEO and founder is Manoj Punjabi, who is a brilliant marketer. So he
He's
is
like-
the first and foremost, the most amazing marketing mind of
Yeah.
the industry. He knows what sells and he knows how to sell it.
Yeah. What about you?
There's always this different opinion on the
Yeah,
boards,
yeah.
even on the boards, because we are shifting in a very traditional
Yeah.
industry to the nowadays. While the more traditional thinkers think about that automotive is a product-driven industry, meaning that they always uh, put more attention on the product, not on how to sell that product. So I think it's always balanced between how we are providing the right product and how to market it. Yeah, it's always
Nice.
that conflict between both.
Yeah, yeah. That's I could relate to that. Yeah. Okay, so I think let's shift gear in a bit of, I think maybe Opik in your, like since you picked that piece up, I'll just want to stay on that point, like since, talk about like volatility, and I think car industry and everything really. So how your strategies when you're doing are fully aligned with the enterprise growth agendas, like how has the campaign construct changed what you used to do versus now during this whole thing of volatility coming in? And I'll come to the same question, I think, Astrid, to you, but just, yeah.
Yeah, I prepared a bit continuations of the previous
Yeah,
deck. I think
yeah.
we can show the deck here.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe something on the funnel.
Yeah,
change on-
if we're
yeah.
talking about we have different funnel for each
Yeah.
customer life cycle journey. I think for the purchase itself is pretty straightforward marketing and
Yeah.
sales funnel. When we
Yeah.
talk about contacts means leads, opportunity mean hot leads, test drive as you know it, and booking as PK in Indonesia. But the thing is, the one that is different through technology is how we see those data. These data are actually visible to all dealers because it's a bit different when we're talking about automotive. The one who sell the car is not the brand, it's the dealership. So we are looking at the same data, which giving us the same understanding about what the situations. So each of us can create an initiative that is supporting these funnels. And also we will be able to dissect this by regions up until the smallest thing is the sales consultant, meaning that we will be able to do things on the right, which area that we need to improve. And it all happened real time. And of course, when we're talking about digital CX, we're talking about automation, we're talking about predictive, we're talking about personalizations, that we need this data to be well connected with our CRM. Once we move to our ownership, okay, for this part, we have more data points. These are actually some examples that the data that we can acquire. So, does anyone here has Hyundai? Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Yeah. No.
No? Okay. Oh, thank you, Pak. So we actually have this, all of the car, the data in the car, how you drive, your fuel consumptions and everything, how many times you fuel up the gas and everything. It's actually a data that we can utilize.
Yeah.
So we can create more predictive, you can create product. For example, we can create a specific insurance product based on how reckless you're driving, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So those data are actually acquired, gathered, processed, and merged into a product, which later we, of course, in terms of KPI, we see how many customers that is subscribed to a certain products, how many the service rate, how many come back to our workshop, those kind of things. So that will always be our KPI, our metrics.
Do you actually can attribute it? I get the point of when you do this connected experience and also the data, you can actually find a way to attribute like at when you design your KPI, because there is not like any connected KPI, right?
Yes.
Because all your functions would have so is there a way you connect that? What is the success currency? You found that way, cracked that way there?
Yeah.
Because that's a struggle.
It is struggle.
Yeah.
It is struggle because
Yeah.
we have different KPIs for different products.
Yeah.
So imagine like we have so many products,
Yes.
but we are having the one data source. So
Yeah.
we will have different metrics for different products.
And when you say this predictive automation and all, what has been the success rate when you see when you actually adopt that, like when you do this prediction versus that, like broadly it?
Unfortunately, there is no
yeah.
benchmark because we just launched the company in 2020. So a lot of
That's
our
still learning.
still
yeah.
learning, but also we don't have benchmarks.
Yeah.
But we can say, like for example, that our EV subscriptions
Yeah.
are actually 20% of our EV subscribers are
Yeah.
non-Hyundai users,
Okay.
meaning that other brand can actually become
Yeah.
our potential
Okay.
business growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's big size. Okay. Yes, Astrid, I think
That's a
that this
completely
will be a
different.
very different lingo for you.
Different.
Yeah.
Very, very different. Okay,
So-
can I
so-
have my slide, please?
So you have to bring back a bit, zoom out again with the
Sorry, guys.
film landscape.
So from
Yeah.
the EV and from the personalization of your own car and wreckage, we'll go to emotions again. So during this volatile market,
Yeah.
we are actually, it's very different from selling movies 20 years ago or 25 years ago, because right now data is everywhere, social media is crazy, algorithm changes by the minute. And so what we're doing in MD is actually, from the marketing as our resilience driver, is like we are not just using, let's make a campaign, let's do a marketing campaign for this movie. No, let's make an ecosystem of this title. Let's make an ecosystem of this IP. How can we manage it so much that it could be like from the head to tail? So we literally can make a movie, can make a series, can do, we give licensing, we can sell it abroad from local to global. So it's like, and also marketing campaign is now not just about views, it's about building communities. So during these volatile markets, people need entertainment, thank God.
Yeah.
So in all this economic or political drama, people still need to be entertained. So people still go to the theater, people still want to be laughing together, crying together, screaming together, scared together. It's a communal event.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we are growing the narrative. We want to make sure we do the right narrative at the right platform to make sure that the communication of each content is clear to the audience and that we are engaging with the right communities. Because it is now very community-based.
Yeah, I guess talk a little more on that, like when you're speaking the community, because even from the agency perspective, when we are trying to dealing with the entertainment, we are trying to build this IP ecosystems, how we can scale it up, how we can sell that narrative to the brand and advertisers, because it's not the usual way of the marketing model now. There are brands who are doing like an IP first thinking. So talk a bit, I think this is very important for you from the resilience part,
Yes.
because when you see so many contents are coming in now, like the Japanese entertainment, the Korean is now mainstream, coming like a Latin American content. So how are you making that? I think I will come to Opik on the resilience part later, but before that I want to hear from you that what exactly is the resilience, how you define that?
So what we're talking about, the communities part, especially related to you with brands, agencies,
Yeah.
It's like we always say that when people are entertained, they will always remember. So when we are really, really able to create a narrative that is pinpoint sniper shot to the right communities, let's say, animation for children and also for parents, because the parents will take the children will take the parents to the theater, and then we'll also have all this horror movie as a communal experience. We are narrativing it directly to the right people. We know our target market, and then we are actually able to do brand partnerships. We talk to, let's say, we are dealing with a bank to promote their banking services, but through a movie that will be a hit in the suburb, in the suburb area. So we know the target market, and we built that for brand partnership as well. So we actually have the data where it really does really well. The movie does really well. We have that. We have all its spreads, and then also when we launch it in OTT, we can also see, it's measurable.
Okay.
So so it's very good in this for marketing as a resilience driver.
Yeah. got it. And I think keeping on that topic, like with this auto landscape, when you see this, when we talk resilience, invasion of China brand's car and the Japanese. So I know most of the auto sector and most of our fine, brand sector, when we talk about customer first, and it's a cliche keyword, and it's a super cliche now, right? Yeah. So if you, and I get that when your customer first campaign or motto, you want to convert into tangible plans. So I want to see, you are listening to the customer voice and you are turning that now into sentiments and signals.
Yeah.
At this point, that customer voice turning to sentiment and signals, how does the signal really intercepts in this now era of resilience, keeping in context now with this Chinese brands coming in and the other brands? So if you can talk.
So I'm
more
going
on
to
that.
say a little bit about
Yeah.
the context itself.
Yeah.
When we're talking about resilience,
Yeah.
I think we need to know what is happening right now, right?
Yeah, correct.
So,
And that you will get from even within the customer, like when I say signal, you will pick that up.
Definitely.
What consumer, yeah.
Definitely.
So,
So I'm going to play a victim here because you know that Hyundai is a Korean brand, which
Yeah.
now has become a sandwich.
Hmm.
So we are being sandwiched. During GIAS, the previous GIAS, there were 39 car brands only. So it was only the cars, meaning that the invasion from China is massive. And at the same time, we believe that the Japanese brands, they want to keep the momentum. So that's why they also fight hard, which became, we are always in the middle. So that's the issue. And secondly, with that brand growth, 39 car brands, the total industry volume is also decreasing. It has been decreasing for the past 3 years. And also we're talking about economy, we're talking about approval rate because we know that 80% of Indonesian car buyers are through leasing,
Yeah.
not cash.
Mm.
So that's the situations. And I won't talk about how the government regulations and everything because they keep on changing and everything. So that's the issue right now, which is, I think it's pretty difficult for us. So when we ask whether we are going to enter the price war situations, of course, we cannot avoid that. There is something that we need to do. But on the foundation, we need to improve that as well, as you mentioned the customers first.
Yeah.
If we are talking about resilience, it's not about put the customer at first, but we are being true to the commitment, our promise. It is something that a bit cliche, but something that we need to, stay true.
Yeah.
Like that's why we are having this My Hyundai Care. We're not talking about the after sales,
Yeah.
but we're changing everything from how we greet the customers until how we are creating our product itself. Like, when we launched Stargazer car tents back in 2022, there was so many negative feedbacks about the size of the dashboards.
Size of, okay.
It's a bit too
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
And then we saw it on the social media listening tools. And then we actually made some changes. We lowered down the dashboard, and it happened within a couple of months. Those are the action that we need to continue doing. And also, when we're talking about automotive, the customer want assurance because it's a big investment, it's a big tickets. So that's why we want to assure them that we will be here for good. That's why, hence the investment. And of course, we need to be contactable. Of course, we cannot avoid that. We need to respond the social, any social DMs, whatever.
Any-
we need to reply immediately. You actually can find a call button in our car, so you can connect directly. Those kind of things. We need to be approachable. We need to be human.
Yeah.
So I think that's.
Yeah,
That's
and I
something
think
that-
currently within this algorithm planning era, like it is just not about listening and you're acting. You need to stay ahead of any kind of sentiment and signals, any kind of, even there is no direct feedback or something coming in, but certain signals reading where it can come before it blow. How you can curate and intercept that in our marketing communication. That I think it's that's why we need to be ahead of. As a sector, as a marketer, ahead of our algorithm, ahead of our consumer sentiments in a way. That's very, very important. Now, if I really comes to when getting, like you talked about your MD or CEO, right? if I talk about, if you need to pitch anything about attention, influence, and let's say investment, yeah, what exactly the verbatim and language you will use in your boardroom? Just do a mini role play, exactly.
A mini role play.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Wow, okay.
So 3 things you have to do, say, yeah.
Oh,
What, yeah.
okay, if I have to pitch.
Yeah, you have to influence, you have to get attention. Suppose, let's say your next movie thing. So you have to
Okay.
get the investment, you have to get the attention, and you have to get the
All right.
what
Thank you for the
influence.
slides.
Yeah.
This is making it easier. So to get the attention, the influence, and the cash.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This slide will not work for sure.
No, it works.
It will
Basically, data. Definitely data. So basically, based on, we will definitely talk to the boardroom about data first.
Yeah.
So this is the market trend. We can show, well, I have this very hyped up IP. I need to buy it. We need to
keyword.
make this movie, right? And based on data, I'm going to take Opic's story
Yeah.
because you feel sandwiched, right? And right now, the generation, the Gen Zs or maybe the millennials are feeling that they're the sandwich generation. Are you familiar with that term?
Of course.
Sandwich generation.
I'm myself in that
Yes.
generation. The
So-
Zennial.
So I need to buy this IP about sandwich generation because there's a lot of generation in between that needs their voice to be heard.
Yeah.
And then I give them the data, and I give them the let's say it's from a novel or something, and then they will say, oh, good. Then, well, and then usually based from the data, based on the social listening of what the emotions that are needed by the people who will watch,
Okay.
then they will say,
Okay.
let's jump into that.
Okay. Great. Great. Now, since we are in the board, like we started with the boardroom conversation, let's do a kind of a simulation.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's do like, let's say, 20-second, 30-second rapid fire.
Okay.
So let's say.
It's for all of them,
All
right?
of them, yeah, anybody.
You guys
So-
ready? Are you ready, everybody?
Have
You
them
are
escape out of
involved.
the boardroom.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll start like, so this is like, we have to choose.
Why?
Sorry.
Suddenly it's horror.
Yeah, suddenly why it becomes spooky. So I'll start with Taufiq. So I'll just ask you like questions. You just have to choose the options. And this is like as fast as you do this boardroom decision making.
Alright.
Okay,
Alright.
so let's go. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. So bigger near-term disruptor, is it EV charging infrastructure or government regulation?
Or what? Sorry.
Bigger near-term disruptor. The option EV charging infrastructure or government regulation.
Government regulations.
Okay. If you had to give up one lever, after-sale service network or subscription revenue model?
Subscription. definitely.
Oh, okay. To win in Indonesia, is it affordability or innovation first?
Affordability.
Affordability.
Yes.
Okay. One tougher competition to outsmart, let's say hypothetical, Toyota Trust or Tesla Hype.
Sorry.
One tougher competition to outsmart. It's just like Tesla Hype or Toyota Trust. Which one you want to
Toyota Trust, definitely.
Toyota Trust. Okay. Okay, next. They're doing well. Okay. If your budgets are cut in half, spends on dealer activation or spends on brand campaigns?
Brand campaigns.
Wow.
It will
That's brave.
definitely drive traffic
yeah,
back
that's
to
why
the-
we are having this room. Okay. So one word, describe your company's role in Indonesia. Game changer or a challenger?
A game changer.
Ooh. Wow, that's okay. That builds a name. So customer lifetime value is harder to defend through price wars or experience gaps.
Experience.
Experience gap. Okay, okay. You're doing it. Okay, I'll just have one more because I'm quite tempted to.
Did I pass?
One curveball. Yeah. Hyundai car cameo in K-drama. Is it a smart global play or a cringe marketing?
Cringe marketing.
You're talking in front of her. A cringe marketing. No.
Cringe sells, people. Cringe sells.
So you're and that's what we were talking about, IP ecosystem. Okay, coming to you. Yeah, you're
Me,
not spared on
okay.
the rapid fire boardroom
Oh,
decision. Yeah,
God.
start. Okay, if you could keep only one, star power or story power?
Story power.
Okay, bigger risk to profitability, streaming algorithms shifting or cinemas losing relevance?
Algorithm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, in greenlighting content, like let's say you are proving, which is your biggest enemy? Which is a bigger enemy? Too much data or too much ego?
Too much ego.
Oh, that's everybody's related. Okay, for an expansion, let's say this is a trickler puzzle, globalizing an Indonesian IP or localizing foreign IP?
For us, globalizing Indonesian IT.
Globalizing in, okay, that's, but not for everyone else.
Not for, but we can.
Okay. Now, one future gold mine bet, merchandising or webtoon spin-off?
Webtoons.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next. If some show underperform or some, remarket it harder or kill it faster?
Remarket it harder.
Oh, you're such a true marketer. Okay. One
We have data. We have
resilience,
data.
yeah,
We have data.
yeah.
It worked.
So one word that describes Indonesia's content's edge now, is it diversity or is it authenticity?
Authenticity.
Authenticity?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now your one question I have on, yeah, like
There's
one
a lot of
curveball.
questions.
I think yeah, you're
Okay.
doing, both of you have done. If you could give, if you could keep only one superpower, securing global distribution deals or owning evergreen IPs.
Owning IPs, definitely.
That was
Yes.
it. Okay,
Yes.
that's great. So big hand of applause for both of them for the rap. Okay.
Do we have questions? Can we
Any-
ask you questions?
Any rapid fire Q&A for the two panelists?
Okay, can I, if I ask you something, can you answer fast?
Yes.
Let's say I said Hollywood or Bollywood? Okay.
Okay, nobody will say Bollywood.
Yeah, man. Nicola Saputra or Reza Rahadian?
Oh, yeah. Are you Jenny Kurnia one?
I said, whoop.
Okay, I guess that that brings us, I guess, towards the end of the session. I think we had a lot of fun, I guess, and this is where I think, as we leave the room and as everybody leaves the room, we should reinstate, and that is, I think, our responsibility as a, not only three of us, but the rest of the room standing here, to bring back the relevance, bring back the power of marketing, not only through data or connected experiencing and enrich, but make a better marketing story, a growth story for the brands to come for later on. And yeah, that's thank you for everyone, and we are open for questions if anyone has any. I know it's end of the day. If that like leaves half the room as anywhere.
I know.
But yeah,
K-drama or drama Cina? So I'm asking you. K-drama.
K-drama.
Okay.
okay, that's it, and thank you everybody, and have a good evening. Selamat malam.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Selamat malam.
Thank you very much, panel.